We're three millennial Latina first-time moms and entrepreneurs who connected at the start of our radio careers. From partying at nightclubs to figuring out night feeds, we've been friends for 14 years.
We're not experts, just honest moms navigating motherhood together, from pregnancy and the newborn stage to toddlerhood, one phase at a time.
We're excited to share what we've learned, what we wish we'd known, and everything in between.
Welcome to Nightclubs to Night Feeds. Episode 9!
Yay! The steamy one.
Steamy, McSteamy, sex, romance, or not steamy. We'll get into that. Maybe it's not steamy. But let's start heavy with because you can't even have sex, for those who are not familiar. You can't have sex after you give birth.
You can't.
Until you're cleared by your doctor, which is usually at your 6-week postpartum doctor's appointment.
Yes.
Which I was not cleared.
What?
I actually don't know of anybody else that has not been cleared.
Me neither.
At their 6-week appointment.
You're
I
the
was
first
cleared.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was not cleared. Yeah, I'm the first person I know that
Okay,
has.
so what happened?
Oh, that wasn't cleared.
Yeah, I was not cleared at my 6-week postpartum appointment.
Was it the chicken cutlet's fault?
It wasn't the chicken cutlet's fault.
Okay.
It was the stitches.
Oh, right.
So again, I told you I was borderline 3rd degree, but really 4th degree tear. I think the doctor was just being like nice to not scare me. I was 4th degree tear. And they were gnarly. They were bad. I could feel them. It always felt like they were ripping. It always felt like they were getting worse. And when I would Google it, it's like, they're going to feel like they're falling out, and they're going to feel like they're getting worse before it gets better. I'm like, that's exactly how it feels. Why does it feel like that?
Wow.
So that's how it felt. And when I went for my 6-week appointment, I was walking like a little bit more around the house, and I was confident that I would be good.
Yeah.
And I wasn't. So I went. Obviously, they checked me. They're like, nah, you're not ready yet. And I'm like, I had a feeling, but I was hoping for the best. And I was so bummed. I remember going home and just being bummed. Like,
That you weren't cleared for sex?
yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Did you want to have sex at that point?
no, it honestly
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
the sex. It was like getting on the treadmill. And
Yeah.
like a big thing for me that I was looking forward to doing with Santi is we live closer to the beach. I wanted to do beach walks with him.
Yeah.
Like, I remember being pregnant and doing beach walks and seeing moms with their strollers. And I was like, I can't wait for that to be me.
That's gonna
Like,
be me.
yeah, it was like a picture perfect
love
thing that
that.
I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And so I couldn't wait to do that. And so at the 6th week, when I was cleared, I had this stroller ready. I had never put him in a stroller before. Like when we would take him to appointments, my husband would keep him in the car seat and just carry him in.
Yeah.
So I had never done the stroller. Like I wanted to be a mom, you know,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
to
yeah.
me, that was having this
Peak
baby
mom
in the stroller.
moment.
Yeah. And I remember when I finally was able to do that, I was taking so many pictures like of me with the stroller, of like the
did that
baby
too.
in the stroller.
I
Yeah,
did that
was
too.
so excited for that.
First walk.
Me too.
Yeah, and I wasn't able to do that. It definitely wasn't the sex because I was actually really terrified for that. But just not being cleared and just not being able to, like, not getting that okay
Yeah.
sucked.
Yeah.
So what did they tell you? Like, you're not cleared, but when did you have to come back?
The next week. So it's like
Okay.
you're
Every
almost, but you're not. And we know your history. Like you had to come back. The chicken cutlet situation. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go to the last episode.
Chicken cutlet
Yeah,
gate.
chicken
Yes.
cutlet.
Gate.
And yeah, so they're like, you're gonna have to come in next week. So when I went in the following week 7,
Yeah.
she's like, yeah, you're cleared. You should be good. And I'm like, you don't seem that confident. So I was still scared. Like I was cleared, but I was like, I'm going to go on my walks with my stroller for sure and keep it chill. But for sex, I was like, nah.
Yeah.
Like I'm still scared.
Not chancing it.
Yeah. And that was week 7. And when I was telling you girls like how I was scared IRL, like, and I hadn't had sex yet, that was like 4 months.
Yeah,
4
I
or 5
remember. It was
months.
months. Yeah.
Yeah. And I still hadn't had sex. So it was a big thing for me. Like I was scared, and just talking to other moms, I was talking to you girls like, did it hurt? What is it like? I'm terrified. And I was trying to get all of the tea just to mentally prepare myself for like the frightening situations that could happen.
The frightening situation.
And it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
When it happened, I was like, okay, I'm back.
Yeah.
I'm good.
I'm back.
And I was also worried because I did tear so much. Like what is that going to be like for him?
Oh,
what does that mean? How have I changed?
LOL. I remember asking my partner too. I was like, what does it feel like for you?
Oh my God. I asked him and he was like, babe, stop. He gets like all shy.
Yes. Yeah.
He's like, babe, stop. I'm like, well, no, I want to know what's different.
Stop.
And he's like, honestly, they had to stitch me and they stitched me up pretty good. Many stitches. So...
Oh my gosh.
You know, it's not your little dick. Pros and cons.
Did he say it felt the same?
Like, I'm out here, girl. We good. That's
We're good.
Pros and cons. There is a silver lining, and we tightened up over here. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
The 4 stitches, or however many for a 4th degree.
I think it's way more than 4. Yeah, but it's 4th degree tearing. Yeah,
wow,
but
they hooked you up.
Yeah,
hooked me up, and that's actually a thing. I googled it, and it's called like a husband stitch.
What?
Yeah, it's called a husband stitch.
What does that mean?
I hate that it's called that.
Yeah, and it's actually like illegal. So they will never say that they can like do that, but it's like when they like over stitch you, which that wasn't me, but that has been a thing where like women will ask like, can you
for an extra stitch or two?
I would never for my husband, girl.
No, but we are all curious, like, what does it feel like? You know?
I
definitely asked.
Because I feel like I was scared to look down there at all. Like,
girl, I never looked down there. I didn't want to see.
Still till this day, I'm like, I don't need to see it.
Yeah,
I don't need to know. I was cleared for my 6-week appointment, but let me tell you, I had to make my own 6-week appointment. Like Kaiser never like scheduled it for me. Like, okay, this is when you come in.
Yeah.
I called and I was like, hey, do I need to come in?
To go?
Yeah, like I think I need to just make sure everything's okay. They asked me, is there any sort of problems? Are you having a lot of pain? I was like, yes. And also I just need you to check up there and make sure everything's okay.
Yeah.
And she was like, okay. And at that time I was breastfeeding. And so I had it, and it was during COVID time. So I had to take Poppy with me to the appointment, and they were like, we recommend you come without baby if you can, so you can like really. No, she was in there with me for the full appointment. So I'm like, in the stirrups. I tried to like put her in the car. It was a whole thing.
God.
It was a whole thing, and because Drew couldn't come in there with me,
I
could only go in by myself, and I couldn't be away from her long enough for the breastfeeding. So I literally just fully had her in the stirrups, everything, just like trying to chill her on. It was a whole thing. But yeah, they did check me, and I told her I still have really bad pain, so I'm sure I'm not going to be cleared. She basically put her hands up there. I was like, ah! And then she was like, okay, is this where it hurts? I'm like, yes. She's like, you have a lot of scar tissue. Like your stitches are totally fine. Everything's fine. But your scar tissue, like when you have scar tissue, it kind of gets like thicker.
I heard of that.
And so she was literally like kind of like pulling down on it, which like made it hurt.
Ouch.
And so I was like, okay, well, what do we do to fix this? Because like obviously I'm still in pain. I still have pain till this day.
Physical
my daughter's
therapy,
almost
I'm
3 years
telling
old.
you.
Like, it's
Physical therapy. Because I had that pain, and I did have scar tissue, and I went to physical therapy after.
But you said they like stick their fingers up there.
They do, because that's what they need.
To massage
that's what they need to do, but they know how to do it. And like you can go in there as much as you want, but you're not a professional in that.
Yeah.
They know what they're looking for. They know what they need to press and massage to relieve. They do all the things, and it's actually very enjoyable. It actually is like a massage. Like I remember telling my husband, I didn't know that's what the physical therapy was. I didn't know that they like went up. I don't know what I thought it was going to be. I didn't think it was going to be that. When I remember when she first told me like, okay, like you can change into this gown, and I was like, what the heck? Like what?
I thought it was going to be like a workout, like the physical therapy, which is why I initially was like, yeah, I need that. Give me a card recommendation for that.
Yeah.
But once I think I will say, like I will put this little tidbit, but I am a survivor of abuse. And so I think for me, the touching and the hands and all that stuff like gives me major anxiety. And I didn't think that was going to be something that like I would be. So I'm still like, I do want to do it because I know like the pain till this day is not normal. Like it does deter me from like wanting to get pregnant again, because I'm like, any added pressure where it already hurts, like what is going to happen? So I feel like if anyone listening is in a similar situation and like you feel this when you're going through even just having your routine checkups down there, because I definitely do like avoid even just routine checkups because of that like how you were telling me, like, they're very like beachy and like calm. Like I feel like that gives me
the place where I go to.
Yes, the place where she goes.
It's
that
all
makes
women,
me feel better.
obviously.
Like that really does help, because I'm like, okay, as long as it's like a very calm environment, like I think I could be more open to it, and I do want to do it because I know I don't want this pain for the rest of my life, and like it increases more when we're like walking a lot.
I was gonna say, and also the sooner you get it done, and taken care of, the better. Obviously,
because
and you're about 3 years in.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm like, speaking about beach walks and all that stuff, like walking when we do Disneyland for the whole day, it's like I do get pain. I'm scared to like fully get back into like spin. I love spinning like on the bike because it is pain. Yeah. So I know I need to get it resolved. It's just like, oh God. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. I'm going to send you the information, and when you're ready.
Yes, please do.
I mean, because I didn't have tearing, I think it was just cuts. That's like the words I was looking for. I just had cuts, like small cuts.
Yeah.
I healed pretty quickly. My recovery was pretty easy.
Yeah.
For me, for my body. So at 6 weeks, I was fine. Like,
so you were ready for sex.
You were ready. Hold on. I'm like, the girl who was about to have sex having contractions. We need to hear.
Yeah.
What the update was.
I wasn't like, my body was like, technically it was ready. And I remember my midwife was like, okay, you guys know about contraceptives, like, you know about condoms and and I was like, yeah. Like, how do you think we got pregnant to begin with, you know? And she's like, well, if you're not planning to have another baby, just know that your body wants to have another baby. So just be very careful, blah, blah, blah. And I was okay. But I was also still bleeding. I didn't stop bleeding until about 7 weeks. Mm-hmm. But we did it at 8 weeks. We did it early. Yeah. Yeah, my partner was like, hey, so
Wait, and how was that for you? I
was nervous about it. I was nervous. It wasn't bad. It was just, I was just like tense. Yeah. I was like, I wasn't sure, I was like, wasn't sure about it. Honestly, I feel like I didn't get back to me until like months. Yeah. Yeah. Months. Because, then it's like our body is different. So we have to like use other, so
I think that's what it was for me. Like, aside from the recovery and being scared of the pain.
Yeah, I was scared of the pain. Yeah,
right.
For sure.
Yeah, same. After I got through the pain, then I was just more insecure of like my new body. Yeah. How my body looks now compared to how it was. I was honestly terrified I was going to squirt him with milk, which hasn't happened yet.
Same.
Hasn't happened yet, but that is like something that I think about because I'm still breastfeeding. Like you squirt him with milk.
That happened to you? Oh my God.
like once?
I mean, I think it's happened a couple times, but also like at that point, those were the times I'm like, oh, I'm back. Yeah. Those like I was because
so you were in the moment you didn't care.
But squirt the milk, you're like, oh, I'm back.
Yeah, I'm back. Well, because you let down when you had, was it oxytocin?
Yes.
So like, I'm back. Yeah, so oxytocin is
letting down
running.
Is the milk coming down for anybody that doesn't know.
Yes, let down. Yes. So at that point, I'm like, hey, let's get it. Okay.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like I'm with it. Like, cool.
Was it like actually squirting out or was it like leaking
dripping
out? Yeah. A drip, or
like
you just like that's what I envisioned, and I'm like pre-embarrassed.
I don't,
even though this is like these are our partners, these are our people, these are our husbands, but still like for me, it's still something that I'm like, oh gosh, that's so embarrassing.
Yes,
like,
or I would laugh. I would definitely laugh, which might ruin the moment.
Oh, I laugh all the time. I also don't care. Like,
does he laugh? You guys are both laughing.
Yeah, we're both like fun like that. So it's like it's fine.
I'm more like naughty girl vibes, so I'm not laughing.
Oh my God, I love that. But you know what? But when I was in the moment in that, like the couple times that it's happened, I didn't notice it. He did, and I was like, oh, okay, like, hey, okay, like I wasn't self-conscious about it. For me, it was like I was enjoying it, and so you can tell because I had a letdown in that moment, and it wasn't because it was time for Saint to eat or anything. It was because I was enjoying it in the moment.
Your body was feeling all the
things. And so I was like, cool, because like when I'm in it, I don't care. Like there's nothing that like I'm not embarrassed. That there's nothing I'm insecure about when I'm in it. It's like the leading up. If I'm like not fully there yet, that's when I'm like,
Once you're in it, you're
once
you have one goal.
All of it goes out the window.
One goal.
But like before that is what I'm saying is like me getting in my own head, like, what do I look like? He probably notices that I look different. And I would ask him those questions.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, you gave birth to our son. Like, I'm so attracted to you, which like makes me feel better because hell yeah, I did. You know? I did all of this and I'm here like.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I'm killing it right now.
Exactly.
Speaking of killing it, were we killing it with date nights right away?
No.
Are we now? Where are we at with like
what is a date
providing
night?
romance outside of the bedroom?
Yeah. So we've had 3 dates so far. They were last year. 2024, and each time it was really rough because Saint wasn't going to sleep. He wouldn't go to sleep at night with my mom. Like, she would try rocking him, he would not. So we were like getting updates of him like screaming or crying, or he's like delusional. We'd be getting home, our poor boy is loopy. He's so tired, and so it made it like rough.
Yeah.
You know. So
did you guys try to do all 3 dates at night?
Yeah, they were all at night, so it was rough. So in 2025, I think we want to do more, but also like Saint's going to be older this year. And so we're hoping that he can sleep through the night this year so we can like actually do nighttime dates, but also like early dates, like during the day, you know?
Yeah. How about you, Chris?
We haven't had any dates.
Insane.
0 dates.
In 1 year.
Yeah, the last date we had was the week before I went into labor. We went to the movies.
Wow.
And because we knew I was going to have the baby soon, so we're like, let's get in our last date before the baby comes.
Cute.
Have you guys tried to have a date and it like...
We had said that we would potentially go on a date because we went to Colombia at the end of last year.
Yeah.
And we went with both of our parents. So we were like, we're going to have both of our parents. We can go on a date there. And like, Colombia is awesome. Like, we can go out, find a cool like bar, lounge, whatever.
Yeah.
And then it was just, we were doing so much throughout the day with the baby and with the family and walking and the different time change. When it came to nighttime, I'm like, I'm not getting dressed up. I don't want to go anywhere. I want to be in my pajamas.
I want to
relaxing,
Of course.
scrolling. Like, I didn't want to do any dates. And it's crazy. Like, we haven't been on a date, but I'm not like, I want to go on a date at the same time. Like, I enjoy being home now. I enjoy being with the baby. I haven't felt, and he hasn't felt like, we need to go out. Like, we haven't felt that, you know? Like, we actually enjoy being home. And like, I saw this thing on Instagram and it was like, a date doesn't have to be at night. It could be during the day. It could be at home. Yeah. It could be literally just any time for you too. And we do have like our alone time when the baby goes to sleep, and he's a great sleeper. So like when he does go to sleep, like we get to watch our movies or like our shows and like have a glass of wine. Like that is what I like, just being cozy with him is comfortable.
Yeah.
Like, I love that.
For sure.
I am definitely the mom that's like, we need to go on a date. I wish that I was better at being a homebody. I really do.
And that's me for now. But like, I have a 1-year-old, you know?
Yeah.
So like, I want to be home. I don't feel comfortable with like leaving him if I don't have to yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I definitely like, I think week 3 is when we went on our first date. Before Poppy was like a month.
Week 3?
Yeah. I remember it was
That's
Valentine's Day. And she was born at the end of January. So it was like, Valentine, 3 weeks.
Wow.
And I remember I called my mom had been coming over Friday nights and like helping with her. So I knew that she could like put her back to sleep comfortably and she would go back down with my mom. So our first date was a during the day date. I remember we went to golf and stuff.
Oh,
and we
cute.
did little miniature golf. And then we were kind of checking in with my mom the whole time. Obviously, one, because my boobs were like filling up. So we were more relying on like my boobs sending us home than we were my mom calling me, which was the truth. Like by the time we got to the final hole, I was like, these things are rocks. Like we have to go. I'm about to explode. And so that's what kind of sent us home. And then after that, we kind of just made a routine of it with my mom to be like, okay, every couple weeks, like especially when she was so little, we would go on a date. So like they definitely were more during the day because, you know, at night is definitely harder, especially when they're that small.
For sure.
And we've since like made a pretty good routine of it as she's gotten older. So we usually, I would say like every 2 to 3 weeks we go on a date.
Wow.
And
Wow.
Yeah. I think it was like
I love
kind
that.
of, thank you. I think for me, like going from being in COVID and like being under lockdown
For sure.
to then being pregnant and like being under lockdown by the
Then
time.
being a mom.
Yes. I was like, by the time she came and it was like safe enough to be outside, post like the COVID flare up, I was like, we are going to be outside. So that's why I think we did mini golf, because it was like an outside safer activity to do. And we were right down the street. So like if my mom needed us, but she was sending us photos, Poppy was fine. And it's funny because she was actually totally fine being home with my mom. When I feel like it's like a female energy type stuff, then like sometimes when I'd have to leave by myself and leave her with Drew, like it was like World War III would break out. She was like, this is not normal. Mom and dad need to be here, or it needs to be like Nana by herself. And so now when we do like the dates every couple of weeks, now Poppy has sleepovers at my mom's house, and like we have a full night to ourselves. And we kind of did that with like also having me days. So it was like date night and then also like our self-care day. We established that from a very early age. Like Poppy's first month of life was like, we each get a me day a week, and we each get a day where we're all together, and we each get a day where it's like just two of us. And the two of us happens like every other week or every 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
I hope Zaira's listening.
Let's get that in the routine. Right. No, okay.
But we do gotta do I know we gotta do better at like our romance, and like because we're both entrepreneurs, right? We both have to like make sure that we're like running our business, we're running our home, we're paying our bills, like we're doing all the things. Yeah, so I think it's easy for us to just be like in our like systems and in our things because we see each other, but it's like we don't really like connect the way that we did before. Yeah. And I think romance, like the definition of romance changes when you have a baby. And I think also because it's so fresh, but I also don't want that to completely change, you know, because our relationship, like we have a great relationship, but it has changed like romantically. Yeah. Completely, you know? So especially to me, I keep bringing up like another baby. So he's like, are you sure? So I think we just have to like stitch up some things at home first before it's like, okay, next baby, because we got to get romance. Right, you know.
And your baby is still really young too. Yeah. You're not even at 2 yet. So
yeah, and I will say like being in the 2s and almost 3 now, or just like 3 now. Oh my God, I can't believe she's 3 now. Sorry. I keep messing that up. I feel like it obviously gets easier to leave, and they're way more distracted with like playing and stuff than they are when they're smaller. It's all about eating, you know. It's like, and when they're toddler, they're like, I'm not eating, you know. It's just like a whole different world, and I think it's easier. But I am glad that like we made a point of it, because I do think it like helps us check in with each other. Like we would talk about how to do different kinds of date nights. Like, okay, when we sit down and we have dinner together somewhere that's not our house, it just feels different, because like you're saying, romance does change with the baby. And when you're sitting there, you know, especially when they're really small and you're trying to have dinner and one of you is standing because you have to be bouncing your baby while the other one's eating, it's like, this is not how it used to be, you know. It's like, it is hard. And like we tried going to restaurants, all 3 of us in the very beginning, and I would just be standing there rocking, and he'd be eating. Then we'd swap off, or like he would let me eat first usually, you know, but you'd have to be swapping off. And then I always felt like it's like that mom guilt of like, are people looking that like want to, you know, it just, nobody's looking, nobody cares. But like in your head,
and
you're
if
like,
they are, who cares?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I feel like it's like your emotions and like how you perceive yourself and how you think people are perceiving you. Like I just felt like, I'm like running around, I'm like jogging around this restaurant to keep her from crying, you know? And I think like that, you know, I realized we need to just keep at it, and like we'll eventually get in a groove. And now Poppy can go to restaurants with us, and it's totally chill, you know. But we did that with her from such a young age too, because we knew that like that's part of how we connect as a family, you know.
For sure.
It's crazy, all the things changing after baby, romance wise. But what about self-care? Because that is obviously romance is a form of self-care. Yeah. But that includes somebody else. What have we done for ourselves, by ourselves?
I don't know if I have much to say about that, but
you're not there yet.
I don't know if I'm there, but you know what I will say is my showers. Yeah. And honestly, since literally day one, like since coming back from the hospital, I was like, I need to take a shower. And I know we talked about this in like a few episodes ago about like the scent and the odor that we get after having a baby. And I was like, oh girl, what? Yeah. But that's my thing. It's like every morning I get up, I go take a shower. That's my thing. And that's not even a question anymore. Because before I would be like, are you good to watch Saint? Like, I'm gonna
Is
go
it
shower.
okay
Are you cool? Like,
Yeah.
And now I'm like, okay, I'm in the shower.
Yeah, like handle it.
handle it. Yeah, but we're also at an age where Saint he can just like, our bathroom is connected to our bedroom.
Yeah.
So he just kind of walks in and out. He plays like, so I'm not like, I would never like stressed, but that's my time, is like my shower.
Yeah, that's your self-care time.
Yeah, I feel same. So I would do spa showers. So I would put on a face mask like 8 minutes or 10 minutes before the shower and let it really seep in. And then I get into the shower with that like super hot water, the steamy, you know. Wash the mask off. I would even do like a hair mask sometimes. Because I'd be like, I'm about to be in here for 30 minutes. Okay. Yep. I need the 30 minutes to myself. No baby crying, nothing. Yeah. To just like recenter and just wash all the stank off of what was happening. And you are like kind of like leaking in there and stuff. So that I feel like was like a new experience. But yeah, the showers were definitely my like go-to.
Mine is baths. Like I was a bath person before I gave birth, before I got pregnant. And then when you get pregnant, you can't take a bath. And for me, that was so hard because
Wait, how did I not know this?
You cannot, you can take baths when you're pregnant, but they can't be hot. Like they can't be really hot. And
like lukewarm?
I'm like burn my skin off. I'm coming out red. Like water. Like I want jacuzzi water. Yeah, like I want hot water. So I just didn't trust myself even taking like a not hot bath when I was pregnant. I didn't take them because I'm like, no, it's gonna be too hot. I'm gonna cook the baby. So I just would not take baths. So that has been my thing. Like again, after being cleared at 7 weeks for me, that was a big thing for me, was baths.
Do you put like Epsom salt?
What do we put in the bath?
Epsom salt. Sometimes bubbles, but I don't like too scenty stuff. So sometimes just the hot scorching water. And then I set up the iPad and I watch trash reality TV in there, and I turn pruny, and I love it. Like
30-minute. What's the max?
It's like 45, however long the episode is. And I'm just in there, and I'm a evening bather. So like I know the baby's asleep. I don't have to worry about him. Husband is off doing whatever he needs to do. Like it's his alone time too. And I'm in the bath and I'm like chilling. I'm not rushing. I'm watching an episode. I'm getting out slow, lotioning slow. Like I can't wait to go do that tonight. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Like that's exciting self-care. If I'm feeling crazy, I have a glass of prosecco.
What?
You know what I'm saying? Like
crazy girl.
Yeah.
Now that you're speaking about the hot and all that stuff, it just reminded me massages became a big thing for me postpartum, and I feel like at least I would say like once every other month I try to go. Like when we have my husband and I each have like a me day where one of us is manning the child while the other gets to do whatever they want to do. And so that's once a week usually. So usually he golfs most times. And for me, I'm like either I get a massage or I hang out with my girlfriends. So
there's different forms of self-care. Sure. So that's a good idea. Massages. I do chiropractor, but that's more so because I have scoliosis.
I love chiropractor.
And after having a baby, like my back is jacked up. So that doesn't count as self-care. That's like a necessity. I'll take my baths for now.
Yeah, the chiropractor for me is like chef's kiss.
Yeah, it's good.
I need to go.
I always want it longer.
Like, me too.
We got no more bones to crack.
More things to crack.
Crack more
Same with massages. I'm like, the time's up. How? Where did the time go?
Well, next episode, we are getting into our identity, how that changed, how our relationships and friendships have changed. Did those change for you guys?
For sure.
Friendships?
1,000%.
Yes.
Yeah.
Friendships? Yeah. Some bye.
Yeah.
Some goodbye.
And
which
some
we'll get into.
way closer, which is so great.
Yeah.
Too,
and
you know?
yes, relationships and friendships and like your mom squad. Like relationships that like literally got created. Like aside from you guys, like people that I wasn't even really that close with have become so close. So we're going to get into all of that and emotions post newborn. We talked about the newborn phase, but let's talk about
what happens next.
What happens after.
Yeah.
Next episode.
Yay!
Thanks so much for hanging out with us on Nightclubs to Night Feeds. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and we are, of course, always continuing the conversation on our social media. You can find us on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at Nightclubs to Night Feeds. That's at Nightclubs, the number 2, and then Night Feeds. Make sure to follow us and let us know if there's a topic you want us to cover. Can't wait to chat next time.